A moment caught a lot of attention, garnered a lot of attention, I should say, of Trudeau on a hot mic indicating what is a horrific prospect as it pertains to Trump's intentions. And now we have information about what led to this hot mic moment. What led to Trudeau believing that Trump, this isn't just about fentanyl or Trump's incoherent economic understanding or lack thereof, but instead his true intention to do something that could be catastrophic between the United States and Canada, being annexing Canada or trying to. And so here's the hot mic moment that I referenced. We've talked about it before. And then I'll show you this New York Times reporting and a lot of other things that give us some insight into what produced this.
Mr. Trump has it in mind that one of the easiest ways of doing that is absorbing our country. And it is a real thing.
He's talking to someone and saying, this is a real thing. And what we've learned now from this behind the scenes reporting is that he initially thought it was a joke, as we all did, or was just bluster on Trump's part. But the idea that the United States could hurt Canada so much economically that it could be leveraged into becoming the 51st state just might be the delusional outcome Trump's looking for. When we say, why is he harming our economy so much? It may be that. How Trump's 51st state Canada talk came to be seen as deadly serious. After President Trump imposed tariffs on Canada on Tuesday, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made an extraordinary statement that was largely lost in the fray of the moment. And let me show you the statement that this reporting starts out with.
Is completely bogus, completely unjustified, completely false. So we actually have to fold back on the one thing he has said repeatedly, that what he wants is to see a total collapse of the Canadian economy. Because that'll make it easier to annex us, is the second half of his thought. Now, first of all, that's never going to happen. We will never be the 51st state.
So while he's saying, not verbatim, but while Trump's saying, essentially, Vlad, I want you to be my dad. We can be besties. Okay? While he's doing that with one of our primary adversaries, he's saying we should have ourselves go through some disturbance, was the word he used. We ourselves should have to deal with higher prices in the United States so that we can hurt the Canadian economy so much, because then maybe they'll be the 51st state. Proving not just how ridiculous of a ultimate goal that is, but how little he understands about stuff, which is that Canada is getting more nationalist sentiment than they've seen in a long time. They're becoming more anti-American, more passionate to oppose such an action by the U.S. government. It's not going to happen, but it is causing a lot of pain. We continue. This is the story of how Mr. Trudeau went from thinking Mr. Trump was joking when he referred to him as governor and Canada as the 51st state in early December, to publicly stating that Canada's closest ally and neighbor was implementing a strategy of crushing the country in order to take it over. This is real life. This is not the plot of a movie. This is, unfortunately, real life. Mr. Trudeau spoke twice on February 3rd, once in the morning and again in the afternoon, as a part of discussions to stave off tariffs on Canadian exports. The details of the conversations between two leaders and subsequent discussions among top U.S. and Canadian officials have not been previously fully reported, but now they got the deets. On those calls, President Trump laid out a long list of grievances, blah, 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 but then he brought up something more fundamental. He told Mr. Trudeau that he did not believe that the treaty that demarcates the border between the two countries was valid, and that he wants to revise the boundary. The border treaty Mr. Trump referred to was established in 1908 and finalized the international boundary between Canada, then British Dominion, and the United States. And so it goes on to explain, as these conversations happen, Trudeau is now telling people this is serious. Don't see this as Trump's normal bluster, but look at this timeline. This is apparently the master art of the deal, whatever, that MAGA applauds. March 6th, suspends many tariffs on Canada and Mexico. March 5th, Wait, let me go the other way. I guess this starts from the bottom. January 21st, promised to impose tariffs. February 1st, officially announced tariffs. February 3rd, delayed tariffs. February 27th, said tariffs would go into effect on March 4th. March 1st, ordered an increase in U.S. lumber production. March 4th, imposed 25% tariffs. March 5th, accused Prime Minister of leveraging this to staying power. March 5th, paused tariffs. March 6th, suspended more tariffs. He's all over the place. And we suffer because of it. We suffer because of it. And as he, in the article, it talks about him complaining about how trade is not fair. The trade deal is not fair. Remember this. The trade deal we're operating under, he signed.
Ceremony for a brand new trade deal, the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement. So important. I'm honored to be here with President Enrique Peña Nieto.
Nailed it.
He's become a great friend of Mexico, and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who has also become a great friend. This has been a battle, and battles sometimes make great friendships, so it's really terrific.
Now, you can only imagine that as Trudeau is dealing with all of this, he's thinking to himself about Trump and his MAGA cohort.
For Greenwich, but I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
There's like 5 clips that we've come across throughout the history of this show that are uniquely hilarious. This is one of them. Here's the full thing.
There's one more thing Trump and his Republican friends want to do.
Tell us.
They want another giant tax cut for the wealthy. Now, I know some of you guys are tempted to think it's macho guys. I'll tell you what, man. When I was in Scranton, we used to have a little trouble going down the plot once in a while. From Greenwich. But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
And then it goes to the reporter. That was President Joe Biden. I thought the phrase was kick in the ass. Smack in the ass sounds like what someone gets Me Too'd for. Oh, Joe. I'm missing him now, though. My goodness. Here is, speaking of Trump's tariffs, Rand Paul, the Republican senator, going, I think Trump might be wrong about this. Now that I give it some thought, I think he might be wrong about this.
Yet to have a business from Kentucky come to me and say they want tariffs. Bourbon industry thinks it'll be hard. Retaliatory tariffs will hurt them. Farmers think retaliatory tariffs will hurt them. Automobile industry thinks steel, aluminum tariffs will hurt them. Home builders think home prices will be higher with lumber, retaliatory tariffs on lumber from Canada. Steel tariffs, we get a lot of steel from Canada as well. Average price of cars going up $9,000, $10,000. You see immediately there was a retreat on cars because the stock market was going, oh my God, this is going to devastate the car industry. We have transporters, UPS, DHL in my state. All the people who are involved with business in my state, not one of them has come to me and said, please put tariffs on, it will help us. Almost every industry in Kentucky has come to me and said, it will hurt our industry and push up prices of homes, cars.
Rand. That's what we were saying before the election. Rand. The fake news was saying that before the election. Rand. Ben. Here's Ben Shapiro saying the same thing. Another right-winger coming to their senses.
Canada is the #1 trade partner of the United States. They are not a financial or economic or physical threat to the United States. Treating them as such is not a wise move. It just isn't. And by the way, it's going to keep Justin Trudeau in power. The reality...
How would I describe his eyebrows, you ask? To pick a word, distinct. On fleek, even. That hasn't been used in a long time. Jaden did not like that one. Brings me back to middle school. No, actually, I don't respect much about him. I respect his eyebrow game. He clearly keeps them nice and plucked. And that's... Oh, you weren't asking about that? play the clip you're saying? Okay, fine. Jeez.
Canada is the number one trade partner of the United States. They are not a financial or economic or physical threat to the United States. Treating them as such is not a wise move. It just isn't. And by the way, it's going to keep Justin Trudeau in power. The reality is that Pierre Poilievre, who's the leader of the Conservative Party and is excellent, a terrific leader, would be amazing Prime Minister of Canada. Pierre Poilievre has been sinking in the polls since the initiation of the trade war because people in Canada are associating Poilievre with Trump, even though he says he doesn't like the tariffs and doesn't like what Trump is doing. So you know what I would like? I would like lower tariffs with Canada. The United States should articulate to Canada what are the concrete steps that they want Canada to actually take to crack down on fentanyl trafficking across the border. We should actually make a significant ask and then get the ask, you get the win, and then ratchet this thing down because it is not good for Canada and it is not good for the United States. And hell, I don't care much about Canada, but I do care about the United States. When you ratchet up prices on everything from oil to cars because of this, that is not going to be particularly good.
If there's anyone at TikTok watching this, put a different outro, I beg you. It's too abrupt. Yeah, it's really annoying the way he's saying that. You know, it actually is the case that if you increase the tariffs to the extent that Trump is saying, that could be really bad for the economy. And, you know, at the end of the day, Trump did say he was going to be good for the economy. And I would like to explain as well that we could probably increase the solution. We could probably increase our ability to implement solutions if we did so in a somewhat coherent way and propose to Canada what it is that we're demanding from them instead of just randomly doing stuff. Why are you saying like that? Like this is a new revelation. You ran cover for Trump the whole campaign, Ben. You did that. So now you have to explain how Trump's not doing what he exactly promised to do and we said would be bad. And you said, okay. Oh. That's what's so infuriating about this. When we said hundreds of economists are coming out and saying this will be bad, it was people like you who said, economist, schmonomist. Trump's just using that as a turn of phrase. You take him so literally. He's saying, I might do 200% tariffs as a way of proving that he'll lower prices. That's really what he's trying to demonstrate. Is there any admission ever from these folks that they were wrong? But thank you for saying that correctly now, I guess. Share your thoughts in the comments.